lights go out, you're in my mind. I close my eyes, so it's just you and I tell myself you'll be back again. When the stars are aligned, we will dance in the meadow on our favorite place. When spring is coming,
It's Astrology for Life with Mark Husson. Time for you to expect something wonderful.
I just want to keep going with that music. Hi, everybody. Welcome. So good to see you. Thank you for being here with me today. What a week ahead of us. What a day today. I mean, we have so much going on. I'm so excited to be here with you. I'm checking in the room. Now, my sound got messed with a little bit. So if I'm blaring or anything, you just be my guides, because I am the solo technician, so I hope you're doing well. Let's see how you all are doing. Let me bring you up. We got Nadine. Oh my goodness, what timing. Check this out. I got it. It is such a cute book. It is such a cute book. You're never going to believe why the Tooth Fairy actually needs teeth. And it has to do with something very cosmic. Well done, Nadine. I'm so happy to have this. And thank you. V-Carb, thank you. Thanks for being a member. That's very, very amazing. I love that. And let's see who we have. I have to look away from the camera to see you guys. Lenny, thanks for being here. Hi, Lori. Yes, we did get some snow. I've been rearranging my studio, quote unquote. It's an alcove in a room. It's tiny. I can't even tell you how tiny it is. And it's in absolute chaos right now, because it's just like I wanted to get prepared for today's show, for tonight's show, for Wednesday's show, for doing the dailies. I'm just like, oh my gosh, it has been kind of like a little chaos. So I haven't had a lot of time. I even just painted the wall behind me, just painted it 3 minutes before we went live. So that's how, like, a little bit of the chaos on my end, but I love it because you guys make it so safe to be who I am. So, you have to practice your forgiveness a lot. Hi, Christine Dumar. Yay, how are you? Good to see you. That's our resident numerologist. She also has a YouTube station, and she also reads with our beautiful gang at 12listen.com. I love your support there. You guys, please support us there. If you ever need support and a reading and someone to talk to, and it's safe, we've been there for almost 20 years. It's been amazing. Jamie, same ditto about Jamie too. She's over there as well. She's been doing angel workshops since I met her, and they're extraordinary. She's extraordinary. She's also a nurse, and not like your typical just run and take your temperature way, more like the extreme nurse. We love her. Jennifer, thank you for being here from Cornwall. We just listened to Erica's show. Erica's such a force. I hope you don't lose your voice, Erica. We need to hear it every week. Yeah, you all just got wind and cold in Kansas, huh, Lori? Hi, Arlene. Thank you for being here. Esther, happy birthday. Happy birthday. That's so good that you came on your day. I hope you have a beautiful year. I know it's going to be amazing. I really do. You're an amazing person. And it's just like you just keep going and doing what you're doing. Arlene, thank you. Thanks for coming. I love my snow too. We needed it. I did a little video for the members of how little Duncan is my little guardian dog, and he just won't let me out of his sight, like literally won't let me out of his sight. So he's making sure that I'm shoveling right and didn't slip, and gets help if I need it. He's just an extraordinary animal. Him and his brother Javi. I adore Javi, his heart, and they're exact opposites. It's fascinating to look at their charts. Truly, thanks for being here. Happy Monday. So glad you're here. Yes, we did. Your girlfriend, my girlfriend just went to Hawaii, and the weather is nicer here in Tahoe than there. That is crazy. Erica's in the house. I'm always honored to have you here, Erica. Thank you so much. I do hope you're feeling good, that your throat and your voice stays strong, because you sounded great. Hey, Ray Stargazer, good morning. Oh, thank you so much. What a compliment. I am so honored. And Carla's in the house. Carla, it's nice to associate the name with the username. So thank you for being here. Fran said, I meant hello. I guess my screen jumped. Hey, hell, Mark. we have a blizzard day today in Wisconsin. Oh, be safe. They're fine, right? If we know what to do with them. Hi, Shelly. Happy to have you back. Laura, thanks for being here. And Sarah, let's see. Yeah, it is chaos. It is true, Lori. Thanks for understanding. Hey, Ann, some of us on the East Coast may or may not be able to hear you tonight. Hopefully with the weather, we'll have power. Oh, I sure hope you do get power. Yeah, and it'll be recorded. So it's lovely that you intend on coming. It really is. Oh, my angels. Peggy's here. Peggy has a broadcast later this afternoon, 3 o'clock, I believe. Check it out. On YouTube, Oh My Angels, OH My Angels. And she also is doing her moment videos 3 times a week, which is her Oh My Messages from the Angels. So thanks for being here, Peggy. Nadine, you're under a tornado? Watch. Oh, my goodness. Penny and Nancy and Sherry, thank you. I'm so happy that you love the chart. That's so good. I know, that's really one that's very loved. That vocation report. It's going to be 100 degrees in Phoenix. Somebody wants us to know. Oh, that's right. It's Wednesday that Peggy does her show. Thanks, Peggy. You know me, I'm going to merge it all together eventually. Peggy's show, her half-hour show. No, I don't even know if she's just keeping it to a half hour, but it's on Wednesdays. I kept thinking she's after me, but it's after me on Wednesdays because I'm back here on Wednesday. So let's jump right into it, shall we? This week is crazy. So I have my notes here. I'm just gonna just go through them. Before I want to just tell you, that we're in the final days of Pisces, right? Like spring is Friday. And in our astrological system, spring is the first day of Aries, no matter what. At the time, if you look at your calendar and it says spring is it, and I'll tell you when it is, you'll look at your calendar and you'll see that spring is at 7:46 a.m. Pacific time on Friday. And so if you see that, then you know that it's Aries, sun enters Aries at 7:46 a.m. It's the spring equinox. That's when the night and the days are equal in length. But we have to mess with time, and I don't even want to get into that. All right, let me sip my coffee because it was so good. Made by an extraordinary person, not me. Okay, so the whole sky right now is soaked in water. I'm going to show you that chart again. I did it in my dailies. I show you the chart, the visual, and it's just like Pisces. It's everywhere, and Aries. So, but it's a lot of water. Today, that Aquarius moon sort of leaves us and enters Pisces, so it joins the fray of all of it. Now, tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day. There's a new moon in Pisces Wednesday, and then Friday, everything changes. The sun moves into Aries, like I said. Mercury goes direct, and the wheel turns from water to fire in the space of a single day. If you ever wanted to understand what a water-dominant chart feels like from the inside, step outside this week. That's what it feels like. And watching that shift happen on Friday is going to make everything we talk about today real. Today, we're going deep into the elements, not just the surface version, a little deeper than we normally do. You know, I realize that we get new people all the time, and new people means new levels of understanding. So some of you that have been with me for a while get it, and you hear me repeat things a lot, but you kind of have to because we get new people. And thank you, new people. Thank you. And thank you. I don't want to say old people, but old people and people who have been longtime members. Thank you. Okay. So, and I want to talk to you about a little bit about the absence of an element, the positive element. Last week I gave you a chart. On Wednesday I gave you the how to weight your thing. I'll go over it with you. So it's like if you think about, and I will put that cheat sheet in the description of this show. Once it's recorded, we'll put it down there. So those of you that didn't get a cheat sheet. So let's recap a little about what's going on. The 4 elements, for anyone who missed Wednesday, there's fire. We do everything. What do? We do everything in the order of the zodiac: fire, earth, air, water. Fire, earth, air, water. It's a mantra: fire, earth, air, water. You just got to get it. You got to feel it, because that's where it goes. Fire, Aries, earth, Taurus, air, Gemini, water, Cancer. It just keeps doing that over and over and over. And that's good for you to understand. That means that our fire signs are Aries, Leo, and Sag. According to Jung, okay, Carl Jung, he did the Myers-Briggs, and he had 4 types. This is the intuition type. This now, according to the astrology, not Carl Jung, is a passionate, driven, visionary type. Fire people feel life dramatically. They dread an ordinary existence. I can't emphasize that enough. If you are a Leo, if you are an Aries, if you are a Sag, there is a part of you that hates feeling ordinary. Now, Aquarians, you get that too, but the hate of the ordinary. This, like, I don't want mundane stuff. Like, Sag rules the area of my life that has to do with money, and I refuse, probably is the word. I cannot balance my checkbook. I can't look at it. I don't want to know. I understand the earth, fire thing. Wherever you have fire, you don't want it to be real. You want magic. It's the heart of spirituality. Most fire signs are young at heart, no matter how old they get. At their best, unstoppable. At their worst, they burn everything down, including themselves. The question for fire is never whether to burn. It's what to burn, okay? So it's like they're going to burn, but what? Are they going to burn inspiration? Are they going to burn a bridge? It's kind of like depends on the mood. It depends on them. It depends on where they are. So bringing them down to what? Earth is a very important thing, which is why the element of earth is their opposite. I got to check on y'all. I always like to check every now and then in the room to see if somebody's going, your sound is out, or what? Okay, yeah, easily get bored. There's no question about it. Okay, big birthday week for my family, especially tomorrow. My son, my dad, my cat are all born on St. Patrick's Day. That is so sweet. That's good. I have that Streamlabs bot you all see. I'll figure out where it's getting those messages from. I think that's built into their system, so you can ignore it. I mean, I don't know what it's saying, but it might say we're ready to do a giveaway, which we might be able to do here later, but at least it's on and running. I like that. That's why earth is the opposite of fire and not water. Why? Because what earth people fear the most is their opposite. They fear being grounded. They fear being like reality of the real world. I just talked about it. They don't want to know the earthy reality. They want to live on Mount Olympus. Who doesn't? Except maybe some earth signs. Like Virgo might say, it's dusty up there. Okay. Now, earth is the opposite of fire, and that means fire is the opposite of earth. Let's talk about earth for a minute. We'll get into the opposites, but I wanted you to get that. We all think of opposites in astrologically, mathematically, as compatible elements, and they are. Like the opposite of Pisces is Virgo. Virgo's an earth sign, Pisces a water sign. They're compatible. Opposite energetically by element, earth and fire, pretty hard to make it work. Now, in earth, we have Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Carl Jung, for those of you that do the Myers-Briggs, they call this the sensation type. Makes a lot of sense, right? The senses. So these are passionate, practical, not passionate, patient, practical, grounded. Earth people inhabit physical reality more fully than anyone else. They build things that last. At their best, they're reliable, productive, creative. At their worst, The inner critic turns outward and suddenly everyone around them is falling short. If you know earth signs, if you know Capricorns, if you know Tauruses, if you know Virgos, that is something that y'all tend to do. If it doesn't work out physically right out here, there's usually a source that you want to name. That's the worst part. It's like I do that all the time. I blame technology. And if you have a lot of planets in earthy houses, we're going to get into the houses and the elemental energies of houses in time. We're building toward that by laying a foundation of the elements. But the negative part, like the negative part of fire is F you, I'm out, and burn everything. Like, because you're mad at the time. And it's like, blah, 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 blah. We had a couple fire signs exit a few months ago. Who got so heated and so upset that it was like, and it's all, political and all that, but it's like the fire that's like, are you sure you want to do this? Because I have a lot of water in me, right? And I don't play with that stuff very easily. So it's fun. It's fun to understand ourselves through this sense of like how we operate elementally. If you have a lot of water, I just watched the show. They said this woman had 100% recall. And I thought, I do too. And then I heard her and I'm like, oh, wait, no, I don't. No, I don't. They said, Mom, what day was Valentine's Day in 1976? She said, a Wednesday. And that's the day I wore this dress. Your dad spilled wine on me. It was crazy, like to details. And so, but water absorbs and remembers. We're on Earth right now. So the thing about Earth that you have to remember is what they lack is their opposite. They lack a motivation sometimes. We accuse Tauruses of getting so into the senses, so into the comfort of their own environment that they can't motivate. They can't get out. They don't know how to bring it up and forward. And sometimes with Virgo, the critic replaces doing. Like you think about all these things and all these reasons why, and the yatter, 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 and the chatter, 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 and the reason, and the reason, and the reason, and they end up not doing anything. So thinking for an earth sign can replace doing because that's not their strongest feature. And I'm not saying they're stupid. I'm saying that what they rely on is their senses, okay? Let's see how y'all are doing. Okay, yeah, it looks like everyone's okay, right? I mean, I blocked the ability to see the chats. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. Stop. Okay, there. Thanks, Christina. All right. Earth responsible. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. They follow the rules. Okay. And that's a good word for them, Lenny. They follow the rules. They love the boundaries. They love any structure, which is what makes them responsible because they're like, this is the structure that I built. This is the one we work within. Think about fire, how much they love structure. They burn it. Okay, let's talk about air. We're going to come back in way more deep depth for all of them. So air is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We know it rules thinking, and that's the thinking type for Jung too in the Myers-Briggs. If you're a lot of air, you bring everything up. Now, my theory is the element, right, tells us how we react to feelings also. So if you have a feeling, how you react to that feeling is your element. So for example, a dominant part of your element. All signs feel. This should be a quiz. On the quiz today, the explanation was the wrong explanation because I'm copying and pasting. I'm writing these out, then actually pasting. I have to type out my answer and think about it, but I put up the quiz first and then I go put in the explanation. And I pasted the wrong explanation for today's quiz, but the answer is still right. So sorry about that. That's for members. Now, let's get back to the thinking type. I lost where exactly I was going, but it'll come back. So if you are if you are orienting everything feelings, that's right. How we tap into feelings is how the element responds. So if all signs feel, that's what made me think of the quiz, because I was like, do all signs feel? Do you think all signs feel? Yes. Do some signs feel more than others? No. We all have feelings. We all feel them. We all have an experience. If you see a child get run over by a car, it's a terrible image, but just hurt or scraped or fall on a bike, you're going to run out. Like, no matter what you think about children, right? No matter what you think about, that was a brat 5 minutes ago screaming at you or throwing rocks, and now they're hurt. You're running to help them. And you better be. That's an experience we have. That's a feeling. You get this like, oh my God, it bypasses all emotion. It bypasses all thinking. It goes to help the hurt. Okay. Now, all signs have that experience. All elements experience that. But your element tells me how you're going to react to it. So if you have a feeling, water signs are going to cry. That's a reaction to a feeling. That's not feeling. That's reacting to the feeling. Okay. It doesn't mean it means you're emotional. You emote. That's how they're going to do it. Doesn't mean you have more feelings. You're reacting to them differently. Air signs might get a book. Air signs might process it up here. They might go internal and think about it. They're having feelings and they're processing them. That's how they do it. Earth signs might go snuggle up in a weighted blanket and just be with it. You know, fire signs might go shopping, but they're all having feelings. You get that? Every sign feels. There's no prejudice about like water signs are the compassionate ones. That's BS. It is. Everyone has that ability. We just react to it differently. Now, air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, curious, social, always thinking. Air people live in the world of ideas. Now, how do you know if you're air? You weight your chart, and your sun and moon are going to have a lot more weight than any of the others, but you weight your chart. And we'll talk about when it's evenly weighted. Air people live in the world of ideas and exchange, natural connectors and communicators. At their best, brilliant and magnetic. At their worst, they're scattered, living in their heads, trying to solve other people's problems instead of their own, and also icy. One of the biggest complaints, what's the biggest complaint to air? Because this will be the element opposite to that. What we complain about a sign or an element, what we complain about is always their opposite element. So we complain about air being lack of feeling, lack of emotion, lack of like heart. Like they're the ones that created the phrase, your facts don't care about feelings. And they're right, but it doesn't always make you very warm. Let me see how you are doing. Sag, Cap, Cancer, I hate balancing my checkbook. It makes me anxious. Sag, I hear you, girl. I know. I don't balance it. I just don't balance it. I get a feel for how much money I got. And if they say you overspent, I'm like, I hang up on them and scream at my life. That's how I balance my checkbook. Okay. So how do we handle air? We handle air. We let them know they're being cold. They're being without emotion or compassion. Absence of water. Water is the opposite. All right, water signs. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. It's the feeling type according to Jung, right? In the Myers-Briggs, it's the feeling type. That's just a word, though. What we talk about is empathy, instinct. Water people absorb the emotional reality that's around them, whether they want to or not. This is especially true for Pisces. I know I had a few Pisces friends. I have Mars in Pisces, so I piss Pisces off. Wherever your Mars is, you piss that sign off. You know how to do it. But I get, like I used to say, I'll never come to one of your parties. You love everybody. And I am discriminating. I have a palate. I know certain people I want to be around and certain people I don't want to be around. And you see the heart in everybody. It's an off-centered compliment, right? Because that's a kind, compassionate being who sees people's heart. And you got this mean old person with a lot of Scorpio, and I'm going, I ain't going near that energy. No, right? It's rude. I'm rude. But the point is that water, especially Pisces, but the water signs feel. Now, one reason you get someone like me who has a ton of water in their chart, who's saying no, is because that is a beautiful defense against, because I know what will happen if I start feeling them. I know what will happen. I get all of a sudden, I'm like, okay. And then I like everybody. And my Jupiter in Virgo is like kicking me all the time about that. And I remember as a kid there was a story. I wanted some people to do some work here at the house. My nephew was living with us at the time. And these two men show up at the door, tattoos head to toe, long hair. One had a bun, one had a ponytail. They were tattooed like you couldn't see anything but ink. I didn't have a second thought about it. Come in. Hey, it's nice to meet you. One was Jeremiah and Saul. And hi, if they ever hear this, they were amazing. And my nephew was freaked out. He ran to John and said, did you see who he let in? Now, he was young. I give him a break for that. But it occurred to me how that was missing for me. Now, I'm not giving myself an angel hat. I have my own version of things that people who I wouldn't let in my house. That one wasn't one of them. I had, in my early 20s, I worked at a runaway house, and they were all run by hippies, like literally hippies. I was the baby. I was 21. And they were all in their 40s, and they were like, oh, my God, weed smoking hippies. And I learned a lot about let it be, let it be, let it be. But I wasn't in that generation. It was just, wow. It was cool. Anyway, I didn't have that. So I know that the defense I built was to protect myself from absorbing too much later. Like, you learn a boundary, because it's like, I'm kind of open, and I am horribly naive. I trust people. I do. I trust people. I trust people who have ripped me off so many times because I'm reading their heart. I'm like, I get it. I'm Mars and Pisces. I have a little Pisces, but I'm reading the heart. I get it. But you learn. And so thank goodness for a Saturn in Scorpio, or a Moon in Scorpio, or even my Jupiter in Virgo that said, wait a minute, I don't know. It takes a minute. So water signs, if you're mostly water, you can be overwhelmed by what you feel and unable to act on what you know. Your mind goes blank. So a chat question, which element do you think you are? Like, do you all know what your predominant element is? Let me see. No, I didn't check their charts. I'm not like that. I have two things that happen, Christina, at the same time. One, a profound faith that the energy is like Alka-Seltzer. When it hits water, it bubbles. There's a chemical reaction. I believe in this chemical reaction. I had a guy come, and he said, he knocked on the door. He came late, and he said, I lost a tire on the way. My dog got sick. We had to rush my daughter to like that. And I said, look, I already hired somebody else. I knew instantly, I don't want this person. Because first of all, you're telling me a ton of excuses right up front, and I don't even know you. So there's no propriety. There's no sense of like, man up a little bit here. What are you doing? I need to believe in you. And I just lost all. So that I trust. I'm not going to go run a chart. I don't know them. So I might later ask, like John is fearless. He'll say, what sign are you? Doesn't care what they believe or don't believe. He'll ask everybody. I think I told y'all we went to Warby Parker. I come out and everybody's like leaving me alone. I go to the counter. Nobody's talking to me. They just take my money and blah, blah. John comes out and they're surrounding him. Like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, what? 'Cause I am kind of unfriendly a little when I'm public. Scorpio rising, I can't help it. Like, I can't help it. They got me sick last time getting all close to me. So he said, I go, what happened? He said, I asked the optometrist if she was a Gemini, and she said yes, and she dropped everything, and then she called the woman, and he named everybody's freaking sign. And then as we're leaving, he got the woman who got me sick the last time, got her sign. It just said, are you an Aquarian? I think she was an Aquarian. She went, oh. And I'm like, okay, superstar, get out of there, please. But the point is, I do it by feeling. I trust that. Me understanding the chart isn't going to change the gut feeling that I get. So I don't do the chart first. And the same with when I meet somebody to make an appointment. I won't avoid a course moon appointment. I try to avoid that. Let's see what you are saying here. Water. Esther, you're mostly water, or are you just your sun sign water? Do you know? Did you weight your chart? Because we're going to talk about weighting the chart right now. Okay. Thank you, Shelley. I know you don't invite strangers, but you know what? The water in me was like, I was like, oh, I know these guys. My nephew was a wreck. Did you see their tattoos? And I'm like, oh my God, what does that mean? I mean, is that like is in your head? What does that mean? They turned out to be amazing. Now, I do trust that. I do trust how I feel. I've told you all this before. How you feel after you have a dialogue with somebody is kind of how you want them to, they want you to feel. So if I hang up and going, oh, poor thing, or blah, 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 that's what they wanted me to feel. I know that as a water sign, and I am predominantly water. Now, when you add, let's talk about adding your chart up. You're not just the sun sign, though. You got to go beyond that. What we're doing is you're a combination of, we're doing the 10 planets. We're not counting the nodes. They aren't planets. We're counting the rising sign. And each of them gets a number. And I did this on the form. So 17 points. Jamie, that's amazing. She has 17 points of fire on the chart. Sun, rising, Mercury, and Venus, all in Aries. Cancer, Moon, Pisces, Sun, just swimming along. Yeah, I'm water signs. 17 fire. That's great. Okay, so we have fire, we have water. And when you're adding them up, you're doing the sun and moon. And I should probably bring up a little bit of a image for you. Let's see. Is this one working? Yeah, wait a minute. Oh, but it has your chat. Hold on. Let me see if I can get rid of that. Yeah. Okay, perfect. So this is the sun and moon. And this is the new moon actually coming up. See, they're in the same degree and the same sign. So that's Pisces. That's, God, we got to talk about that, don't we? That's water, new moon coming up. Now, we had let's see. We had 2 eclipses. We had, this is not an eclipse. This is just a new moon, but it is the new beginning moon. And it's right before spring, and it's in Pisces. So this is going to flood you guys with water. And the reason, like Jamie, it's good to know your elemental balance, like you know your fire. When water happens, that isn't your opposite, but that is like the emotional pool. That'll be something where you get to decide if that is, how you're being affected based on the elemental weight you have. So if you're a ton of fire and water gets infused, you're not bugged by it. It's basically just like, it might mean more people around you are showing emotionality, and you might need to just shop more or burn a couple of bridges, who knows, but that's how we'll add them up. So listen, here's the thing. You're a combination of all 10 planets. We do all of them. The sun and moon get 4 points. All of them sit in an element. So you have to know your signs and their elements, which I did not give you all that chart, but I need to. But I am telling you as we go, the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. So if you have anything in those, you add based on the chart, and the chart gives the biggest weight to the sun, moon, and rising. Okay, so if you have something in those, that's 4 points. But I'll let you all add it up, and we'll have a whole class on that, a whole show on that. Now, the weighting does this, and this is based on the cheat sheet. Your sun, moon, and rising each carry 4 points. Oh, good. I did want to tell you about the weights. These are the most personal and powerful parts of your chart. Mercury, Venus, and Mars carry 3 points each, and if they're whatever sign they're in, that element you add. They're the closest to the Earth, so they have a more deep connection to us. Jupiter and Saturn are 2 points, and then the outer planets each are 1 point, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, and that's how that works. Now, the cheat sheet that I'm going to put up will walk you through most of it. We went over it on Wednesday a little bit. So you can get a free birth chart over at astro.com if you just need a wheel to add up. And then just keep bringing that with you to when we have the show, and we'll use what we know as we go along. We're going to talk now about the dominant element. Let me see how y'all are doing. And then I got to get into the week with you. March 18th is the new moon. Yes, it is. Oh, thank you, Lori. I can't even read that out loud. She did say John is amazing, and he is amazing. And thank you, Lori. That's very sweet. Sun, South Node, and 3 planets in Virgo. So Jennifer, don't count the nodes. Okay, they aren't planets. But the sun and 3 planets in Virgo. So that's a lot of Earth. And I wonder where your moon is. The cheat sheet I'm going to post under this description here. If you're a member, I put it in the member section under the posts. So that is, we'll get it, but I'll put it on this show afterward. I can't bring it to you now, but we'll get it. Hold on one second. Okay, we're good. Now, because I was getting a warning about the stream bit rate, so I just didn't want to lose you guys, but where's the cheat sheet? It's in the member section, and why can't print? I don't know, Esther. That's between you and your tech support person in your house. Now, segment 3, dominant elements. This is what it actually means when one element. Oh, yeah, we got to get into this, you guys. That if you have a dominance like fire, Jamie, you have fire, that element is your base setting. That's where you go to default. You return there automatically under stress, when you're happy, under pressure. It is your greatest gift, and it is your greatest blind spot. What comes naturally to you is also what you can overuse and not notice. We do rely heavily on our preponderances, okay? If fires dominates your chart, you lead with vision and passion. You inspire people. You start things. You see possibilities no one else can see. But then you exhaust the people around you. You burn them out. You burn through products before they're finished. You mistake intensity for progress. This is important. This is a lot of Liz Green quotes. The fire dominant person needs to ask, am I building something or just burning brightly? There is a tendency to a lot of manic energy when you're fire. I know a lot of fire people have it. They do feel exuberant. Whenever I'm in a certain kind of like uplifted mood, I do feel smart, and I feel like people are just missing the point, but it's really me. Now, if Earth dominates your chart, you are actually the person who's getting things done. You build, and you build firmly, and you build fast, and you build things that last. They're not necessarily fast, but they do last. You show up, you finish what you start, but you can get so focused on the practical that you forget to look up. The Earth dominant person needs to ask, am I building a life or just managing one? Okay, I have an equal weight. Yeah, equal weight is important. If you have equal weight, we're going to lean a little heavier on the sun and moon and the rising. And if that's still equally divided, the moon for most of us is going to be the most powerful. In fact, if I had my druthers, I think the moon gets a little extra point because it is what we need. And so if you're in that, okay, but let's talk about what it means. And I will, Michaela, I'm going to talk about the balance and what that means, but let me finish with the dominance. I'm almost done here. If air dominates your chart, you're the connector, the thinker, the communicator. You see all sides of a situation. You make brilliant connections between ideas, but you can live so fully in your head that your body and feelings get left behind. This is a big one. The air dominant person needs to ask, am I thinking about my life or actually living it? And that will show up for you with the people that you're choosing. If you like, we tend to choose our opposite. We tend to choose the element that we're weakest in. We tend to have those people around. And if you're an air sign and you're with a water sign and the water sign's like, you're being mean, doesn't necessarily mean you are being mean, but it might be a chance for you to look and see, am I being so completely removed from what they might be going through that I've sort of lost touch? Water dominant, this is the last one, and then we'll talk about the balances. Yeah, we have time. If water dominates your chart, that's either Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer. Your chart, you feel everything. You know things you can't explain. You absorb the emotional reality of every room you walk into. You use empathy in an incredible way. It's like a superpower, but it can also become a weight that belongs to other people and has nothing to do with you. Think about this. The water dominant person needs to ask, how much of what I'm feeling right now is actually mine? I tell you guys this all the time. If you're a water sign, if you're predominant water, take a shower and picture releasing everything you took on and then see if it's really yours. And that includes headaches. That includes depression, sadness. See if it's really yours. Now, it doesn't mean go around blaming everybody because you took it on. You took it on. But it does mean knowing, observing, that's what's happening. Because it's the observer that's the power here, the power question. Now, someday soon, I'm going to introduce the Enneagram, and we're going to have 3 systems here that will make it undeniably powerful to understand yourself and sometimes others. So it's kind of like, if you guys are connecting to this, let me know. No planets in air. I'm missing air. Okay, this is great. We're going to talk about missing elements right now. This part surprises people the most because a missing element isn't a problem. It's a message. And I want you to hear that. Carl Jung believed that the psyche strives for wholeness. Remember that phrase, the universe abhors a vacuum? It's very similar to this. Good. I love that. Who's surprised Jamie's missing Earth? I'm just I'm just teasing Jamie. Okay. The universe, the psyche strives for wholeness, which means if something is missing from your chart, your psyche is already reaching for it. And you do it through people that you attract, through situations that you attract, through behaviors that you develop, and the qualities you most admire and envy in others. So the person you find most magnetic is often, not always, living that element that's missing from you out. The person who drives you the most crazy can also be your missing element. So we can go through and see and this is so important. We're going to go through and see what each element missing can possibly mean. If you have no fire in your chart, if you're missing the element of fire, you all are missing earth. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, Michaela's moon is fire. That's great. This is good. This is good information. And you're a balance of fire and water. I'm going to talk about that, Michaela, for real. But I want to stay on this missing element thing real quick. No planets in air, no. So we have no air, no earth. So if your chart has no fire, think about this, guys. Somebody has no fire in their chart. That spontaneous energy that other people have, the visions that fire signs see, they don't get. They might struggle on how to start things, to take bold leaps, to believe something is extraordinary, or to over dramatize something just to feel it. They probably don't do that. Now, how their psyche compensates is by attracting fire people who are overly dramatic. Like people with no fire probably have a lot of drama in their life from other people. Okay, they might be attracted to TV shows that are about drama and excitement and over the top. Think about daredevils and things like that. The invitation of missing fire is to develop your own relationship with passion, with courage, taking risks. Not how fire people do it. Your version is always going to be quieter, but it's just as real. Now, here's the thing. We do it in behavior too. We might make up habits. Like if you have no fire, you might every day read a passage from some book that inspires you, right? That gives you, that tells you, say this over and over and over because this is how you're going to manifest it. So sometimes the absence of the element creates an obsession in the person. And you see this a lot in the absence of earth, and we're going to talk about that right now. But you see it because the absence of earth, we're going to see a physical thing happen. So how are we doing? Fire is dominant and water is the weakest. Why am I so sensitive? Water is the weakest. Well, you're overcompensating. And think about it. Fire, well, I don't want to jump into yours, Karen, yet till I talk to Michaela too about hers, but let's finish these absences and then we'll get into specifics. We're going to continue on Wednesday, whatever we don't finish here. So don't worry, it's just 2 days away. No earth in your chart means grounding practically, and follow through doesn't come naturally. So you may have brilliant visions and see things quite clearly, but they never land in reality. You don't know how to bring them into the physical world. You start things you don't finish. You dream beautifully, but you struggle with the things that are unglamorous and things that are not attractive, that are not worth your building. Your psyche compensates by attracting earth people into your life who can hold something that you can't. So we're always looking for that person, typically. The other thing that I think the absence of earth does is these are people I've noticed with no earth who developed a strict discipline diet. They're obsessed about what they eat. They work out. They make sure that the body is compensated for, but over the top, because what are they doing? They're compensating. That's the best example of compensation that I have for you, is when you don't have earth, we compensate. We don't count those because they're not personal planets, Jennifer. Those are archetypal asteroids and spheres that are rolling in the earth. But we're talking about the ones that are most close to the earth, that affect our psyche, and that is most imprinted upon it, has been most used for thousands of years for the collective mind. You can add all those things later, but not as a weight for your chart, because we don't use those as a daily, like the Vitruvian man. It's the natural of who we are, because we've been doing the 10 planet thing for eons. Okay. Lastly, let's just talk real quick about what no air means. So this is people with no air. It's so interesting. When you don't have air, you're going to attract what's its opposite. What's its opposite? You're going to attract water. You're detached. So the detached, objective, intellectual perspective isn't easy for you. You may struggle to step back from your feelings. You might identify completely with your feelings and not feel any objectivity. Like if somebody says, I don't like, if you say I'm depressed and everybody goes, oh, snap out of it, you might be really like, take that as an attack on you. Or depression can be overcome. You're like, no, it can't, or whatever. You identify with your feelings. Decisions can make you feel overwhelmed because you can't easily separate facts and your feelings. Your psyche compensates by bringing water into the place, by attracting, you're going to attract other air people, not water. You're going to attract other air people who can think more clearly for you. So you like rely on accountants and the other people to do the heavy lifting for you of the mental part, or you overcompensate by sounding intellectual, by learning big words, by being someone who likes to overtalk to compensate for what you're not really doing naturally. Okay. And then lastly, no water in the chart means deep emotional attunement, intuition, and empathy don't come easy to you. You might be highly functional, you could be highly productive, and you could be highly rational, and occasionally blindsided by some feelings that emerge in you and you're not exactly sure what to do with them. Now, sometimes what we see with people with no water get into fields that work with people that requires them to be very emotional. We're a therapist that shows great empathy, but you may not be really feeling the empathy, but you're practicing to compensate. Because what does the psyche do? It brings us in situations where we have to compensate for that lack of the element. Now, we're going to run out of time, so I want to answer some of your specific questions. I love that you all are participating. I know this means a lot. And I know it gets so fun to get interested. So let's start with Michaela. You have a balance of earth and, let me see. No, it's a balance of water and fire, I believe. Yes, fire and water. And your moon is fire. So basically, those two opposites are beautifully balanced. So when we think about it, if those two are balanced, you have an ability to inspire and to feel the result of that. That's a beautiful compensation. That's not even compensation. That's using what you have. And those two things, like when you're uninspired, this is an example. And this is not opposites, these are compatible. When your water is emotional and you need, like, I can hear probably a part of you going, I need to snap out of it. Let's go. Let's move this energy. And you know how to do that. You work with your emotional body. If you're absence of air or if you're absence of earth, that's where being able to bring it into a functional system may be difficult for you. But that balance, it's like using one to support the other. Fire is like it goes, like you might go be inspired, help somebody motivate, be their aerobics instructor mentally in life, and then use your water to see how you got to pull that in or how to adjust that fire to attend to them. It's a beautiful thing to have those in balance. I just appreciate the hell out of it, but sometimes you might feel that you've burnt yourself out because it's like they've turned to steam and you have nowhere to go. So you want to do those in moderation, but they do work beautifully together. It's highly intuitive, right? And then the feeling nature comes in behind it. And it's like, truly like it's a gifted way to play your life. And I'm sure knowing you, that is exactly right. Like, you know exactly where to touch somebody, how to read them, and how to move them. And that's fire and water. Okay. No planets in air. We talked a little bit about that. So Jules, did the description of no air make sense? That's sort of like that place where you rely on other people to be the intellect, you sometimes, or you overcompensate by learning and getting your brain good because you want to have that part of you really strong. See how the compensation works for yourself. There's so many variations of it. Sherry, Tara says hers is quite balanced. I love that. So you know how to access. That's just accessing. And probably people feel you as very balanced. That's a really emotional, that's a beautiful thing. Judith says 14 air, 10 fire. Okay, so you're mostly air and fire, Judith. I can actually sense that about you. That's basically using those two things, like where you can intellectualize, you can move based on what you figured out, and you don't like to be blindsided by heavy feelings or people's emotional weight. So you might pull in those people who, I'm sure, I would say with your chart, you've probably been told several times, like, you're not being very compassionate. Or maybe they tell you you're way compassionate because you've overcompensated and learned how to do it. But it's fun to watch how you can see just by the elemental weight alone. I didn't even want to confuse this thing with telling y'all where your planets lie in what house adds to the elemental balance. It's crazy. But it doesn't influence the weighted thing here. It just tells us a little bit about where you might be an honorary, have access to this stuff on an honorary basis. Okay. Yay. Okay. Fire is dominant and water is the weakest. Why am I so sensitive? So it'd be so interesting to see, Karen, if the absence of water is where you're sensitive to being told you're insensitive. So that, like, in other words, the water is the emotional, water is the compassionate, water is the one that sort of, and so you get your feelings hurt a lot, but it's almost like, on what grounds? What are people saying to you? Is it that your fire is just too much? Is it that you just take off and they feel like you're not getting them? So a lot of the criticism for you is going to be based on the absence of water. You're not kind enough, but you're sensitive to it because a lot of the fire issue is to get your ego development from the feedback you get from the world around you. If you heard the feedback you're getting from the world around you, the things that make you sensitive, as if you had them in the dream, what is your psyche trying to tell you? And that's what you want to pull together. Now, the fire dominant and water is like no water. The compensation is to be super sensitive. It makes so much sense. And so that sensitivity, that's you compensating for water. Like, that hurt my feelings. But I have a feeling there might be a way for you to look at this and a way for you to adjust this that actually shifts that around so that you see that's a compensation and I don't need to be hurt by that. Like, there might be a way for you around that. Powerful way, something to look at. You attract all these water people. That is the absence of water. What about, we don't do Chiron or we don't work with the asteroids. Interesting we compensate if we are missing Earth. I know, missing Earth, very powerful. And I think you were a chef, Anne. And if you're missing Earth and you're a chef, it's brilliant. What a way to get into food and something physical and something grounding. Okay, Esther, you have 7 planets in water, 5 air, 4 earth. So your water is your dominant. So you work with feelings, you work with compassion, and air, intellectual, that's a fight. That's where those are opposites, right? So the air makes fun of you being too, like, possibly one of the ways is the air rejects the emotional body. I'm too emotional, I'm too weak. And the emotional body goes, God, I'm being mean to myself. Like, what is going on? Like, where you can see it sometimes and you compensate. Those two definitely are opposites. It's fun to see how we work that. Like, you might project one that somebody out here is being cold and mean, but it's really a part of your own psyche doing that. And so you learn to integrate those and do one or the other, or let them try to yeah, have separate moments. When you're going to be emotional and protect yourself from criticism. If you're going to be a critic, but don't go feel guilty afterward. That's what you have to work out. Okay, oops, just found the cheat sheet. Yay! 10 fire, 2 earth. Okay, 13 air. Okay, same thing. You got it right. Only 4 water for Jamie. Okay, it's no surprises. That's good. That's good because you're a nurse. I mean, that's just enough water, right? Otherwise, you have to keep it moving. You have to keep yourself up. We're out of time. Can't believe this. You guys, I had a beautiful time with you tonight at 4:30 Pacific time. It's me and Stephen Jobs watching a movie with you guys and interpreting his chart. I can't wait. Oh, look how that happens. Like the camera sees. I gotta quit gesticulating so much. There it is. Let me see. There we go. And so tonight, join me for the Stephen Jobs thing. It's a members only event. Bring the popcorn. We'll have fun. We'll interpret the chart. It'll get us more into, we'll even do some of his elemental balance, but I think you're going to be surprised at who this guy is. There's so much more. Happy new moon, everybody. I'm going to be back Wednesday with you. Guess who's up next? Miss Cat. Yes. And she's streaming live. I'm going to put her address up here as we sign out. You guys mean the world to me. Thank you for the membership. Thank you for the love. Thank you for support. I will be back very soon.